Alright, so today I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to try a Bodhran video. I've got my Head with Shack snare carp head, and I've got my big old boomstick tipper and my drum, and I'm going to try a bit from Metallica's One. I think you know which one I mean. Let's see how it goes. So my setup's kind of primitive. I just got my snare and my tipper, my double bass. Haven't practiced this, so it might be a little sloppy, but I just want to see if it'll work. That's the point. So that's about all I'm going to try because I don't want to run into copyright issues. But what do you think? I know a little bit sloppy there, but with a little practice could be tidied up. But is the world ready for an all-acoustic Irish instrumented Metallica tribute act? Or am I just being goofy? Or a little bit of both. It's always a possibility. Welcome back to Bodhran. I'm kind of having fun with these. The next song I want to take on is one that after many years of not being unpopular, it's always been a hit, but recently exploded in popularity, and rightfully so after being featured in a popular television show. Of course, I'm talking about Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill. Now, the song, like in a very typical 80s pop composition style, is very heavily synthesized and uses a lot of electronic instruments. And in fact, the recording of it, the primary percussion is a drum machine. It's a Lindrum drum machine programmed by bassist Del Palmer. There are actual drums later in the song added by Stuart Elliott, mostly adding some fills and stuff, but the basic beat is on that Lindrum drum machine. And Kate Bush very collaborated with and was very inspired and influenced by Peter Gabriel. And Peter Gabriel went through a stage of leaving the cymbals off of his drum parts. It's just bass, snare, and toms, and he let other things fill up that sonic space where that high-end cymbal sound would be. And very much like that, Kate Bush did the same. So it's just like a bass, snare, and tom sound. And interestingly enough, on the same album, Hounds of Love, there is a track that features Bodhran. It's not Running Up That Hill, it's Jig of Life, which I recommend you check out as a really cool song. And that features Bouzouki and Bodhran provided by Donald Lunny, I believe. But on this song, it is basically a 1-2 bass snare beat, and then the toms do this almost kind of a marching cadence. All kind of in the low register, then with the backbeat with the snare drum. To simulate that, I'm going to use my head rod tipper, and I'm going to use my Head with Shack snare carp head, which is kind of a cool snare drum widget to get the snare drum sound on it. And we're going to simulate it that way. And I think it's going to work pretty well, because I think you can get a lot of the same sounds. Let's try it with the track now. There we go. Will it Bodhran? I think so. Alright, it's time for Will it Bodhran. This time, we're heading from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific, and we're getting into surf rock. This time we're going to take on the 1963 hit by the Surfaris, Wipeout, which is famous for its drum rhythm, which was played mostly on the toms by drummer Ron Wilson, And it's one of those things that if you pick up a pair of drumsticks and you learn to play drums, somebody in your family or friends will say like, oh, play Wipeout. Can you play Wipeout? Then you're a real drummer. And you can do it on the Bodhran. Now, the rhythm to this one is very straightforward, 4/4, but driving rhythm, and it is kind of evocative of Hawaiian pahanui drums in traditional drumming, which hopefully I pronounced that right. I'm not an expert on the Hawaiian language, but they're coconut wood drums that are played with in various traditional musics of Hawaii and other Pacific islands. So the drumming style is, I believe, meant to kind of evoke that, and it's a very straightforward. And for those of you who are learning and studying the Bodhran itself, shows the importance of a relaxed wrist and working to make your accents from your moving your forearm to get the accent. So the beat is very. But you bring that forearm in. Let's try it with the recording. And of course, it starts out with the crunch of a breaking surfboard and someone cackling maniacally, Wipeout, which refers to taking a major spill off your board.